Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. It is good to have you here. My name is Gemma, I am an advanced occultist, and right now I just wanted to talk about Freemasonry. Okay, so we'll just make it short and sweet because it's late and I need to go to bed. I need my beauty sleep. So, if I was to say everyone needs to chill out about Freemasonry, like everyone needs to chill out, like chill, okay? Because we have to understand this as a logical perspective. Now, this is something I learned when I went to university, because it took me ages to figure this out, like how to write and stuff like this, okay? So in my journey, for example, I had to learn how to how can I explain this? I had to sort of learn how to write something and take away emotional context. Okay, and I did this at uni studying criminology. Now, we all know criminology is a very hard topic, okay? So, I found my seriousness as well. And it kind of makes you feel more like you're more rational, like in your approach to things when you study, after you study. And it gives you obviously more confidence, okay? So there's good things about going to university as well, about learning about the world, because it's about the world, isn't it? Kind of depends what subject you do, okay? But criminology was about the world. So obviously it's a big topic. It is a big topic. Right, so Freemasonry, okay? I learned to be emotionally, like, I had to take my emotions out. So I looked at Freemasonry different. I had to have kids first as well. And, I reached an aspect of 6 dimension, while ago. It was a long time ago now, but I reached it again this recently. So it's kind of making everything make sense to me, and this is why I'm able to do my videos. But another thing is that it's made me look at things differently studying, okay? And it's about taking the emotions away. So it's really tricky to do. So I understand that it's really tricky to do, and I'm with everybody on that one. It can be quite difficult. But Freemasonry, okay? I'm going to give you a couple of things now. I'm going to say a few things. I'm going to try and make things make sense, okay? So this, what is it? Come on. What is it, kids? What is it, boys and girls? What is this? It's an eye for an eye, okay? So this is a retribution. This is classical theory. It's one of the first ones, is to establish some sort of like, if you harm somebody, you're going to get harmed back. So this was kind of like the first consensus, but we know it's not like that now. We know that's not what this is now, though, don't we? Okay? So this is about retribution. Okay, it's about retribution, okay? So it's not scary, is it? When you think about it like that. Like, we want that. We want, if people harm us, they should go to prison for it. Okay? They should have some sort of, punishment. There's justice there, right? Surely not. There's justice there, not. Surely not. Think about it. It's so easy to think this is so scary, but it's not. Not at all. It's been taken out of context, and we actually don't even formulate our criminal justice system on an aspect of retribution anymore, which is interesting, right? Because we don't focus on harms, do we, to the individuals, and it's harder to, commit people to prove it. And it goes with, maybe corporations, they've got CCTV and all that, they've got more likely chance, and they also are business. So, it's a corporate superstate and they rule, right? Anyway, let's get back to this, because it is retribution. It is an eye for an eye, right? The eye, an eye for an eye, okay? So if you've done something you know? For example, you have your eye, an eye for an eye. If you take someone's eye, they take it back with yours. That's how it's seen. This is an understanding of retribution. So let's get into it a little bit more, because I think this is necessary. Okay, so the consensus of this is retribution, and it's an eye for an eye. Okay, now we are going on to understanding things like, so there's another one, and it's for the, I think it's a, I'm not sure if they call it a protractor or a compass. I don't know where you are, but I think it's a protractor. But it's the G in the middle of the, it's the G, and then it's the protractor, and then it's the base, right? Is that scary, is it? What does it mean? What does a protractor mean? The protractor means that it's understanding life like we build structures on this plane, and there's life, and the compass is understanding an aspect of a blueprint. So this is a G, this is an inside, the G is inside, but over the top of it, this is a protractor. This shows a concept of understanding how to build, and it's a masons. So who are the masons? They're the stone masons. They build, right? So masons build, okay? So this is my understanding of Freemason, because I'm trying to just, understand this and bring it to the forefront so people can sort of see, because I never realised this before. Right, so I don't know if, I know there's lots of numbers and stuff involved with this, okay? But I'm not going to get too much into the numbers. But that's just one thing, okay? This is a concept, it's a magician, okay? What will you do down here as a magician? Type thing. And that's true, okay? Because it's almost like we are our own magicians, and this is the first house in astrology, okay? This is our ascendant sign, this is our rising sign, this is our first house. This is the magician, okay? And it is, right? It's an aspect of a magician energy, okay? Because it's the beginning, it's a one, and it's the first house. And so that's kind of like the consensus there, I think, on that one, which is just basic principles of astrology, understanding the tarot, and understanding, what the Freemason symbol is. And it can also relate to an architecture, okay? Because this is the blueprint. This is what they're called. They're architectures. They create things. And by the looks of it, and those beautiful buildings in Tartaria, and in the Goth buildings, the cathedrals in the UK, absolutely beautiful, and they are, a representation of that as well. So, where are these dudes? Where are they? Where would you find them? Where would you more likely find them? If you were to find a Freemason, where would they be? Well, there are Freemason like buildings and stuff where it's like it's an aspect of a cult. I think it's a religion. Okay, so it's almost like they have rules to follow. Okay, so this is understanding aspects of morals and ethics. Okay, so they promote aspects of being honourable gentlemen. So what does that mean? Because it's a gentleman's club as well. And this is obviously all speculation. But what does it mean? It means to be honourable. It means to be respected. It means to respect. It means to hold. It means to hold a lot of prestige. That's what it is. It's got a lot to do with that, being an honourable gentleman. And I think these are the traits that I hear. This is what I'm listening to. It's an aspect of kings and queens. It is an aspect of, wearing gowns. It is an aspect of that, right? Okay, so what does this remind me of? It reminds me of the judiciary. Okay, that's where they are. That's where it's at, right? They're in the judiciary. Okay, so we're going to find Freemasons there, okay? And they're entrepreneurs as well, you know. They aren't elected, they are just applying for a job, okay? So this is how we can see it as well. You know, it's not like nobody can do that. Anybody can do that, okay? Like if you've built your career, I guess anybody could, you know, go for it. So I don't know if there's any tests. Probably is, right? There's probably a lot as well. I would imagine there's a lot, right? So wow, to understand this is, it's almost like if you are rejecting aspects of society, aspects of hate, if you're rejecting yourself, if you reject the society that you live in, if you can't handle the truth yet because you're just getting used to it, because I have literally had to sit with a lot of things before I could even speak about it. So, you know, I'm with you on that one. So it's kind of like everything's kind of, it takes time to sort of adjust and get into. But also at the same time, talking about Freemasonry. So I think this is sort of also understanding our placements in those houses as well. I'm not saying that all Freemasons are in judiciary. Lots of people are Freemasons. People who have normal working jobs, delivery men, you know, everybody, any walk of life, you can be a Freemason, right? And the reason why it's so, like, people do follow them if they do, usually, because I've read comments and I've listened to what they've said, and it's because they have morals and values, and there's morals and values in there. And they also give to charities as well. So there's one in there's a Freemason hospital. The Queen used it, and there's a couple in America, and they actually it's more of a charity based one in America, and it's so that the children can have free medical care because they don't have it in the USA. So this is kind of like we have it in our country in the UK though. So this is kind of like, this makes sense that a Freemason has morals and ethics and values that they would promote and provide aspects of care, because that's a Freemason value. It's an aspect of care. So why isn't it being portrayed out throughout society? Why is it rejected so much, but you don't understand what you're rejecting? Like, why are you scared of this stuff? This is what I'm asking. Why would you be scared of all this stuff if you know what you're talking about? Like, just that simple context where everyone gets scared and it's the music industry doing it, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's an eye for an eye. And so, you know, let's just bring this down, like just those two things, just sort of like change, or three things, because we've got, you know, the sign, the G, the protractor or the compass. Can't remember with the G in the middle. So that top one, that is an aspect of building. This is an eye for an eye. This basic stuff like morals and values, care, promoting aspects of care, hospitals for the children. What do you think this sounds like? This sounds amazing. This sounds like entrepreneurs, well-to-do entrepreneurs, good, respectful gentlemen doing the right thing. Personally, I do believe that. And I think what it is as well is that there's a lot of connections as well with entrepreneurs now, like through governments. And, you know, it's almost like it's starting to come through. I'm starting to understand because, you know, people actually run this place. Like, people run these counties, these countries, people running this stuff, like behind the scenes. And, you know, you've got big people like the entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, and, you know, they're all in the public eye. There's a lot of people that aren't in the public eye that do a lot of things for our you know, our places, like, and I think a lot of them are Freemasons as well, because my friend said that she wanted to go and volunteer, and it was a while ago. It was a couple of years ago, and it was in a different town. But she went into this. I was working with her at the time. She was telling me, but she went into a place. She said there was just all in suit and ties, and she asked them if she could have some contribution to voluntary work. And she said she didn't know how she got the information. Somebody told her to go there. And I was like, wow. And she got help. So she actually got help for this and to go. And they supported her. And they were Freemasons. And they were entrepreneurs. And she went to India. Or is it, I think she might have gone to Africa. I'm not sure. I think she went to Africa. And they installed like tippy taps and stuff like this. And I was going to go do it, but I got pregnant with my son, so I didn't do it. But this sort of stuff is like what this sort of stuff is like really where the money comes from, isn't it? Entrepreneurs. And it's like Dragon's Den. And it really is. That's like sort of like where we're going with this era. So yeah, just a little bit about Freemasonry and where they probably are. Stuff like that, and probably what kind of morals values that they might have. And it makes sense that they're in the judiciary because it's an aspect to understanding morals and values and ethics and how we can sort of like all communicate in the world. And this is sort of like the foundations for like what's right and wrong. Now this is understandably, yes, they should be there because it's an understanding aspects of morals and values. And if you're not in it for the morals and values, and if you're not in it for understanding the basic concepts, like for example a chessboard, right? So if there's a chessboard and it's you're playing chess, like it is actually like that because that's what it's like. Are you a pawn? Are you a queen? What are you? And it is like that, because whatever connotation the word might have to it, it's a game called chess. And there's queens, and then there's pawns, and then that's just how it is. You have to play it like that. And, they say that the queen is dispensable, but she never is. She's never the first one to be dispensable. That would be the most silliest thing to do. That would be the worst thing to do. Because you would never experience. You would never have that the capacity to understand safety and experience that game, because that queen's going to get knocked out. I'm done anyway. So this was on Freemasonry. Wow. Take care.